Let's get right into it. Number 1. The echo chamber effect. Imagine living in a house where every wall is a mirror, reflecting only your own face, and every conversation is an echo, repeating only your own words. That's the digital echo chamber, and your brain, surprisingly, loves it. We naturally gravitate towards information and people who confirm our existing beliefs, a phenomenon psychologists call confirmation bias. The internet, with its algorithms designed to show you more of what you already like, has supercharged this tendency. You're not just seeking out like-minded individuals, the internet is actively curating your reality, filtering out anything that might challenge your worldview. You start to believe that your perspective is the only valid one, that anyone who disagrees is either misinformed, malicious, or just plain stupid. This isn't just about political opinions, it seeps into every aspect of your life, from your diet choices to your parenting styles. You become intellectually lazy, never having to grapple with dissenting opinions or complex nuances. Your critical thinking skills atrophy, replaced by a smug certainty that you're always right. The world outside your echo chamber becomes increasingly alien and hostile, making genuine understanding and empathy almost impossible. It's like living in a perfectly insulated bubble, convinced that the air inside is the only breathable air, while the rest of the world is gasping for breath. And eventually, that bubble becomes so thick, you can't even hear the cries for help, let alone offer any yourself. Number 2. The self-sabotage shuffle. Ever been on the cusp of success, a promotion, a new relationship, a personal best, and then almost instinctively you trip yourself up? You procrastinate until the last minute, pick a fight with your partner, or suddenly decide that eating an entire tub of ice cream is a perfectly valid pre-race strategy. This, my friends, is the insidious dance of self-sabotage. Your brain, in its twisted logic, often finds comfort in the familiar, even if the familiar is failure or mediocrity. Success, while seemingly desirable, can be terrifying. It brings new expectations, new responsibilities, and the terrifying possibility of more failure from a higher perch. So, your subconscious, in a misguided attempt to keep you safe and within your perceived limits, throws a wrench in the works. It whispers doubts, creates distractions, and engineers scenarios that ensure you don't quite reach that finish line. You might think you're just having a bad day, or that fate is conspiring against you, but often, it's your own internal wiring pulling the rug out from under your feet. It's like being your own worst enemy, but with the added psychological twist that you're also your own best friend, trying to protect you from a future you secretly fear. You're building a magnificent sandcastle, then kicking it down just before the tide comes in, because at least then, you were in control of it. Number 3. The comfort zone cocoon. Ah, the comfort zone. It's warm, it's familiar, it smells faintly of stale pizza and unfulfilled potential. Your brain loves it here. It's predictable, safe, and requires absolutely zero new neural pathways to be forged. Why venture out into the scary, unknown wilderness of new experiences, new skills, or new people when you can just re-watch that sitcom for the 5th time? Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, sees novelty as a potential threat. It prefers the well-trodden path, the routine, the path of least resistance. But here's the kicker: growth happens outside that cozy little cocoon. Every time you choose the familiar over the challenging, you're essentially telling your brain, no thanks, I'm good with being exactly who I am right now forever. And while that sounds comforting, it's actually a slow, insidious form of stagnation. You become a creature of habit, your world shrinking with every missed opportunity, every avoided risk. You might think you're protecting yourself from failure, but you're also shielding yourself from success, from joy, from discovery. It's like being a butterfly who decides the caterpillar stage was actually pretty great and just stays in the chrysalis forever. Sure, it's safe, but you'll never get to fly. And eventually, that cocoon just becomes a very dusty, very lonely prison. Number 4. The perpetual worrier. Ever woken up at 3 a.m., not because you had to pee, but because your brain decided it was the perfect time to review every single potential disaster that could possibly befall you, your loved ones, and possibly the entire global economy? Welcome to the glamorous life of the perpetual worrier. Your brain, bless its overzealous little heart, has convinced itself that by meticulously cataloging every worst-case scenario, it's somehow preventing them. It's like a tiny neurotic security guard, constantly patrolling the perimeter of your consciousness, shouting about imaginary threats. You're not just planning for contingencies, you're actively constructing elaborate, multi-act tragedies in your head, complete with dramatic music and a tearful monologue. The problem is, this constant state of high alert isn't actually solving anything. It's just draining your mental battery, leaving you exhausted and perpetually on edge. You're so busy fighting battles that only exist in your mind that you miss the actual, perfectly calm present moment. It's like training for a marathon by constantly running in place in your living room. You're expending all this energy, getting nowhere, and probably annoying the neighbors. Your brain thinks it's being helpful, but really, it's just a very dramatic, very unhelpful alarm system that can't tell the difference between a real fire and a flickering candle. Number 5. The instant gratification gorilla. Imagine a tiny, impatient gorilla living inside your brain, constantly demanding bananas now. That's your brain's primal urge for instant gratification, and it's a master manipulator. You know you should save money, eat vegetables, or hit the gym. But that new gadget, that extra slice of pizza, or another hour on the couch with Netflix. Oh, that's a banana right now, and the gorilla is very persuasive. Your brain is hardwired for immediate rewards, a relic from a time when survival depended on seizing the moment, not planning for a retirement that might never come. The future, to this ancient part of your brain, is a vague, theoretical concept, while the present is a vibrant, delicious reality. So you trade long-term gains for short-term pleasures, accumulating debt, health issues, and a general sense of unease about tomorrow. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never quite arrives, because the gorilla is always there, thumping its chest and pointing at the nearest, easiest banana. It's like trying to build a skyscraper with a team of toddlers who only want to play with Legos. The foundation never gets laid, and you're left with a pile of colorful, but ultimately useless, plastic bricks. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.